over here, and I have the cord because I'm plugged in, so bear with me, okay? So this is a metal class that I had. You could see it got all rusty, and this is just because, you know, life happened, humidity, and I wanted to show you how I restore it because sometimes people, they have these like metal objects where it has all these like little brown spots, and they think, oh, I gotta throw it away, it's so junk. Now, this may not renew it 100%, but I find that Barkeeper's Friend, which is a product that I really like, helps tremendously. So I'm gonna do that today. I've already put a few of this in the sink, and I like using the sink because, you know, the cleanup is nothing. So first, all you do is you wet your toothbrush, get some Barkeeper's Friend, and you just rub it on. So Barkeeper's Friend may not take out all the little dots, but I find that it reduces it and it also increases the shine as well. And I would heavily recommend wearing gloves as well. I've tried to use Barkeeper's Friend without the gloves, and my hands felt it afterwards. There's also Bonami too. I heard that works pretty well, but I've never used it. I heard it's non-toxic. So I really want to try it out, but since I have Barkeeper's Friend, I'm showing you guys that today. And yes, I did try to use Barkeeper's Friend on this. Did not do anything. This is one of those things that you just have to replace it. So normally when I do stuff like this, to pass the time, I normally listen to a YouTube video. So if you guys are, let's say, cleaning or having to scrub something, I would recommend to you guys, like, hey, maybe rewatch this video while you do it and see how it is. It makes time pass by a lot faster. And sometimes you feel like you're not really so focused on cleaning it because your mind is, you know, learning new things. Okay. And also, I hear that I smell sometimes it has like this metally scent to it. I want to say it smells like rust. So if you start smelling that, just know that's completely normal. So let's see how this looks. Does that not look better? I think that looks better. So compare that to the other side over here. It's different, but you can see that this has more dullness on this side versus over here. See? So I'm going to do a little bit more. You can always redo it. I find also sometimes when what I like to do is I like to wipe it down and then air dry it. Sometimes it's kind of weird because I find this like orangey thing that forms on it when it dries, but then all I do is I use Barkeeper's Friend, go at it again. Whatever that orangey stain that sometimes happens if I don't dry it thoroughly, it just rubs right off. It's like a rust stain or something. It's kind of strange. But yeah, that's why I recommend after you're done with this, like wipe it down with a towel or something. And then you can let that air dry. Doesn't need to be perfect. I mean, this already looks so much better than it did earlier, right? And I think I've only had this stream on for about 4 minutes. I've been really big on restoring stuff because I think to myself, you know, hey, if I have any metal item, it's already paid for, right? So you might as well try to maintain it. And even if it's not perfect, it's still very, very usable. And a clip like this, I've had it for about, oh, let's see, I got this when I was in college. So this clip is probably at least 8 years old. And that's pretty amazing, right? So you figure 8 years of having this clip, I've put in about 40 seconds. No, I put in about 5 minutes, just scrubbing this. It's really not that much. It's like, 40 seconds a year or something like that? Nothing. I think I've also told you I've been attracted to the idea of minimalism lately. So I think that's pretty good. See? So this is how it looks like now. I don't know if you guys can see it. See how much shinier that is? You can still see there is some brown spots here, but it's a lot less than before. Here, I'll let you guys see it a little closer. I can't, my fingers are wet, so I can't show you this. But compare this to this. See, this is so much more dull. And then I also tried to do a little, I have to do a little bit over here, a little bit over here, a little bit over here. So you don't have to try and do it as much as I do, but I don't see it. This is also a very good thing to do if you are, waiting for something, I guess, in the middle of something, talking on the phone. For me, I find that I'm much more effective doing things when I'm listening to something. I know it's so annoying, right? I'm sorry. I don't even think the price was on here. I think this was actually about $1.25 or so. How much Barkeeper's Friend did I use? Maybe a quarter's worth? Toothbrush, old toothbrush. And I think I've shared it with you guys. Oh, so I think in my video that I did, I have a Frugal Tips playlist. But in an old video I did, I told you guys like, oh, I reuse my gloves. So for these gloves, I'll just rinse them out, dry them in the sun, and then after they're dry, reuse them for something else. Because I just use this mostly for Barkeeper's Friend, that's it. So I don't feel the need to dispose of it because it's just like, okay, no big deal to me. These gloves, I can usually get, depending on the quality of it, I can usually get about 10 times a wear. So my last gloves that you guys saw, I think I had purple ones on, those inevitably ripped. So I got rid of them and now I'm on these gloves, but these gloves are not that great. So you guys can kind of tell, like I'm one of those people who like to stretch their resources. Toothbrushes, gloves, clamps. For me, one of the reasons why I do this is because I want to lower my expenses. If I lower my expenses, well, it's two things, right? If I buy less stuff, I don't have to spend time shopping. I don't have to spend time lugging things or thinking about purchases like, oh, hey, like for instance, if I threw away this clamp, right? Let's give an example. I would have to go online, try to find a similar clamp, and then after I find a similar clamp, then I have to say, oh, okay, let me see, how long is it going to take? Then I have to wait for the package, take it out of the Amazon label, or go to an art store to get one. It's just, it takes so much longer than 5 minutes to clean this. You don't have to spend 9 minutes cleaning this like I am, but yeah, it takes me so much less time to just clean this than it does for me to go on Amazon, buy one, wait a week, have it in my mind for a couple of days for it to come in. Then I got to dispose of the packaging and all that stuff, and it's just a waste of resources, I'd rather spend 10 minutes cleaning this thing up. Hopefully the next time I have to clean it is in the next, I don't know, X amount of years. But, yeah. See? So if you guys have like a YouTube documentary you guys want to listen to, you guys could listen to that. And yeah, one of the things that I noticed for myself is I like to, I like to learn new things. I like to expand my mind, but that doesn't mean that I have to just sit around on, a computer chair or and do nothing. If I have the energy, then what I try to do is I try to, while I learn something, I try to do something else at the same time. So, for instance, right, if I was doing this and I wasn't streaming, I would say, hey, let me see if there's anything I could learn on YouTube. Maybe something I can learn about stocks or, some people's thoughts about certain investments. So at the end of it, right, let's say the video is like 10 minutes long. I learned something new, plus I cleaned the clamp, and it just like, I feel like a win-win situation versus if I just, let's say, did nothing and I just sat at a computer desk watching idly for 10 minutes. At the end of the 10 minutes, I'd still have this clamp all rusted. See? So I try to multitask. And then that way I feel like I'm just really hitting, two birds with one stone. I'm learning stuff, plus I'm cleaning something at the same time. So this thing, even the stream right now, I'm doing two things at the same time because I had to clean this, and I don't mind showing it to you guys because I figure that maybe you guys have something that you have to, that has like similar rust stains in your place, and it's a good thing to show. The best way to be eco-friendly is, of course, in my opinion, to reuse, upcycle, or buy secondhand. Okay. Okay. So I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, let's do a rinse. Before the water, I'm trying to have it rinse this thing. Yep. And let's see here, a quick rinse here. I know people will say, oh, Erica, you waste so much water. I know. Okay. So let's see how this looks like here. Okay. And I think that looks much better than it did before. What do you guys think? So you can still see I do have a little bit of this black mark over here, but it is so much less than before. And I'm happy with it. So this is going to get dried. And I like to just leave my gloves over here as well as my toothbrush. And I'm going to dry this. I'll be right back. Okay, here's a little old rag that I have over here. This thing is like really old. I'm just gonna dry it off really quickly. And then I'll let this sit in the sun. So I'm gonna let this sit in the sun, plus this sit in the sun. This one, I don't need to. I'm just gonna let this sit over on my sink. Usually I let this wait for about 5-10 minutes, just because, I don't want water splashing all over the place. And that is it. So I hope that this was useful to you guys. You can see how much more cleaner it looks like compared to before. And as you guys saw, all I used was some gloves, which I reused multiple times, plus an old toothbrush. And finally, barkeeper's friend. I am going to put a link to this in the description if you guys are curious about it. However, I do think you can find this cheaper locally. I think I bought this for about $2.82 on Safeway. Bonami, I heard works really well as well. You guys can check that out, but I've never used it, so I can't recommend that for something like this. I can only recommend barkeeper's friend, but the Bonami, as I've mentioned before, is non-toxic, and I heard really great things about it. So I will talk to you guys later. I'm happy that the life of this was extended, and yeah, you guys take care. I think I gotta rinse it off again in there. But other than that, yeah, I'll talk to you later, and as always, don't be a clown. See ya.